Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel today. We're reviewing one of the funniest Office compilations ever, and honestly, this episode proves exactly why The Office is still one of the greatest sitcoms of all time. From Pretzel Day madness to Dwight's insane detective work, to Michael Scott completely losing his mind, this episode is packed with comedy, gold from start to finish. The episode starts with the legendary Pretzel Day, and if you know Stanley, then you know this is basically his favorite day of the entire year. His speech about waking up every morning in a bed that's too small, driving his daughter to a school that's too expensive, and working a job that pays too little is already hilarious. But then he says that on Pretzel Day, everything feels worth it, and somehow this silly joke becomes weirdly emotional. That's what makes The Office writing so genius. It takes something as simple as a free pretzel and turns it into this huge life event. And then there's Michael Scott. Instead of focusing on work, he becomes completely obsessed with building the perfect pretzel. Not just a normal pretzel, he wants every topping possible. Chocolate, caramel sprinkles, marshmallows, powdered sugar, literally everything. And once he gets it, the sugar rush completely destroys his brain. Suddenly, Michael thinks he's some kind of business mastermind. He starts yelling about accountability and productivity while caramel is dripping from his suit. Steve Carell's performance here is absolute perfection. The way he delivers every line with total confidence while clearly acting insane is what makes Michael Scott one of the funniest sitcom characters ever created. Then we move into Dwight investigating Oscar for calling in sick, and this is peak Dwight Schrute behavior. A normal person would just accept that Oscar is sick and move on. Not Dwight. He immediately launches a full criminal investigation. He analyzes Oscar's voice. He studies his sniffles. He literally explains there are 3 different ways to sniffle. Who even thinks like that? That's why Dwight is such a brilliant character. Rainn Wilson plays him with so much seriousness that every ridiculous thing becomes 10 times funnier. And when Dwight finds out Oscar was lying, he doesn't report him. He keeps the information as leverage for the future. That's classic Dwight logic. Not justice, not honesty, just strategic blackmail. Then, of course, we get Michael versus Toby, possibly the funniest one-sided rivalry in television history. Michael hates Toby with every part of his soul for absolutely no reason other than Toby exists. And his attempt to get Toby fired by setting up a fake drug bust is completely ridiculous. Michael really thinks he's some undercover genius. But then the police search Toby's desk and only find Michael's own salad dressing. That awkward silence is one of the funniest moments in the episode. You almost feel bad for Michael. Almost. Then there's Pam's mural getting vandalized, which gives us one of the more emotional storylines. Pam actually cares about this project, and seeing it ruined feels genuinely upsetting. But The Office balances that emotion perfectly with comedy. Dwight's investigation method is to make everyone draw butts so he can compare them to the mural. It's absurd and completely insane, but somehow it makes total sense in the Office universe. That's what makes this show so special. It can jump from heartfelt moments to complete nonsense without ever feeling forced. Then we get Michael's birthday, which is always chaos. Michael treats his birthday like it's a global holiday. The entire office has to carefully manage his emotions because one tiny mistake could completely ruin his day. His excitement mixed with his emotional instability is classic Michael Scott. And when the stripper finally arrives and Michael suddenly gets nervous, it's comedy perfection. Michael always wants to look cool and confident. But the second things get real, he completely falls apart. That's what makes him so funny. He's basically a child trapped inside the body of a regional manager. Finally, we get the murder mystery role play. This scene is amazing because every actor commits completely to the ridiculous Southern accents and fake characters. Everyone throws themselves into it. And then Andy accidentally thinks Aaron's in character flirting is actually real. That misunderstanding is painfully awkward and absolutely hilarious. It's classic cringe comedy at its best. And that's really why this entire episode works so well. It captures everything that makes The Office special. Michael's chaos, Dwight's insanity, Pam's heart, Andy's awkwardness, and all those weird little office moments that somehow feel real. The humor never feels forced because every character reacts exactly the way they should. That consistency is why fans still rewatch this show years later. Overall, this is classic The Office at its absolute peak. It's awkward, hilarious, ridiculous, and endlessly rewatchable. Whether it's Pretzel Day Dwight's detective work, Michael's sugar meltdown, or the murder mystery disaster every single scene delivers. This episode reminds us exactly why The Office is still one of the greatest sitcoms ever made. If you've never watched it, start now. And if you already have, then honestly, you probably want to go rewatch this episode right after this. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.